everybody.
Hello.
Many of you. Welcome, everyone, to FirstGlance Film Festival, Cyber Style this year. But you guys are here, and we are talking about sweet nothings. So I'm going to jump right in. Christian, I believe you are director, writer, and editor.
Yes.
I get that right.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Welcome. And you guys all acted in it, right?
Yes.
So let's just start quickly. Can you go, just start with Geordie. Can you guys introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about your role in the movie?
Yes, hello. My name is Geordie Kopansky. I played Meadow, which is the love interest of Zach's character. She's a girl on the Sweet Nothings app who gets approached in a park and then maybe has a love connection.
Maybe doesn't.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Geordie. And May.
Hello. Hello, I'm May Bartek. I play Ambrosia. She is a hologram that is employed by Carl's Jr. to entice young men onto dates from dating apps and get them to buy sliders.
That's just the best introduction ever.
Really, this.
Amazing. And Zach.
I'm Zach, and I'm sitting here panicking because I don't remember my name in the film.
Max.
His name is Max.
Max.
It's all good. We shot it 2 years ago now.
I
I
know.
never say the name. I just see Meadow and Ambrosia, but I don't actually say Max. So I play Max. I'm on a dating app. I'm trying to find love, and these are the two people that I meet.
Aha. Well, thank you for that little introduction. It looks so great. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And I was really immersed in the world that you created. I think maybe the visual effects seem so sophisticated to me, and I think that really contributed to that sort of futuristic world that you guys inhabited. And I'm wondering, Christian, can you share a little bit about the process of making a film that does rely, I don't want to say heavily, but does rely on visual effects, just from your perspective as a director and an editor, actually?
Yeah, it's difficult. You really have to have vision for what you're doing, both like when you're directing the actors on set, like, you know, obviously I have to do the whole thing where I'm like, hey guys, so all of this is going to be around you, but right now in space, you're just kind of moving your hands around. Trust me, it's going to look awesome. And then even when you're like showing the first rough cut to friends, you still have to kind of do that whole like, all right, so I know I did these really crappy temporary visual effects, but like, trust me, it's going to look awesome eventually. And yeah, and then also like, especially for a comedy, you know, you're not really like able to naturally invest in the film and experience the tone of it until like the visual effects are in, because like, you know, temporary effects really pull you out. So it's one of those situations where it really doesn't come all the way together until the very end, and you just have to, you really have to know what you're going for as the director.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Did you have a very clear vision of what was going to be where, like, even from the get-go?
Yeah, I did a lot of like early tests, and I actually even had like on set we had like a poster board for scale in terms of like I drew like this, how big the holographic interface would be, so I could kind of like hang that in front of Zach and give him a sense for how big the display was going to be and stuff like that. So yeah, I had planned it all out, and that's, you know, that's another thing that makes it difficult, is that if you don't plan it that extensively, then you'll run into problems like, well, the actor wasn't moving their hand in the right way, the scale of it. Yeah.
Continuity must be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But you did a really amazing job. Had you done it before, or was this your first venture into working with visual effects?
Yeah, I was definitely like the kid in film school who was like, I want to have 70 visual effects shots in my student film, and my teachers would be like, oh geez. So yeah, it was definitely not my first rodeo in terms of like just doing a short film where like 2 of the shots total don't have any visual effects, and like every shot has something that needs to be done. And then it's also what I do professionally now. Like I'm a visual effects and motion graphics artist for a company called Ingenuity Studios. So yeah.
Well, that figures. And you guys, the actors, like I've done a little bit of green screen in the past. I imagine this is similar. How was it? Let's go one by one. Geordie, how was it for you working on this as opposed to something that's doesn't require, special effects like that?
It was really interesting because when it came to the scene where we were looking at the app in our bedroom, that we thankfully could have Christian be like, okay, swipe, now swipe the other way, and things like that. Like, oh, you see somebody you like, oh, you see somebody you don't. So having that kind of like, just like director in your ear, like supporting you through it, made it helpful. So you didn't just have to like imagine, oh, maybe I see someone I like or something like that. Like he definitely was with us through the process. And the green screen part was really fun because I had never done that before. So that was really fun too. But
amazing. How about you, May? How is it for you?
I feel like I got the easiest. Yeah,
May didn't have to do any green screen stuff. We were out in the real world doing it for real.
Yes.
Yeah, the hand is probably the most complicated part, and he basically just gave me a mark and was like, "Please, God, hit it," and I did. God.
You have to do one thing.
It's in the job description, I think, so I think I can live up to that. Yeah, I got very lucky because all of the visual effects that involved me were kind of done to me, and I didn't have to interface with any of it myself because I am the system. So, yeah.
Hey, I hate to interrupt you. I'm so distracted by your cat on your bed.
I'm so sorry.
Blue. I love that Blue gets a cameo tonight.
She is so antisocial, and of course she sees the camera and she's like, "Oh, should I say?"
I'm only laughing because you can't see, but beyond my computer, I have two cats also sitting on the bed.
Yay!
So it's a cat trick, if you will.
So good. Love it. A cat trick. Amazing. And Zach, can you speak a little bit about because you worked most of your scenes involved working with visual effects that weren't there, right?
Yeah, and I can be very honest. I had no idea how it was going to happen, or like I thought. I guess you had to like be fully immersed in like a green screen world, or like have things on your fingers that track. None of that. We were just like incognito shooting on city streets, and I was like, okay, there's no way this is going to like have amazing. Like for the second I saw it, it was like a different world than we were actually in, with no green screens, nothing set up. Like this was all done in post. Like,
yeah.
It definitely requires a lot of trust in as a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. But it for sure paid off. Where did you guys film? I was trying to figure it out. I was like, where are they filming?
That was in Grand Park, in downtown Los Angeles. I picked it because of the pink tables and benches.
Well,
it was like, I was like, ooh, it seems like maybe the Sweet Nothings company like designed this park or something, since the app is pink as well. Production value.
It was good. It was really good. It was great. I was just curious. So, Christian, where did this idea come from? Did you get it while you were like flicking through Tinder one night? Like, where did it come from?
I will admit to having had the experience of like chatting with a profile on a dating app that I thought momentarily was a real person, and then it turns out to be a chat algorithm. And then it's happened to me a couple of times, and I just find it hilarious because then it's like, it'll be a thing where like it only has 3 or 4 phrases it can say. So I'll just like start messing with it and see like what I can trigger it to do. And I just thought that was hilarious. And also I used to work for an advertising agency, so I like had to design advertising graphics a lot. So like, just kind of those two things were going on in my life, and that led to this idea.
That's amazing. Like in my head now, I'm going through the Rolodex of conversations I've had on Hinge, and I'm like, oh, suddenly it makes sense. Exploring. They were. And sorry, one more question, Christian. So when you get an idea, like you get a nugget of an idea, what next? Like for people that are at home and slightly overwhelmed about where to start, like where do you go after you get that first nugget of an idea?
Definitely don't be afraid to show it to people, like those early drafts of the scripts. Like literally the way I found the cast is that I had written this script and I started showing it to friends of mine. Like, hey, do you know people who you think might be good fits? Like, is this good? Is this anything? And that's how I ended up finding most of the cast. And then, really just also when you have a visual effects background like me, like I was able to start like doing the visual effects tests and stuff too. So not necessarily specifically that, because I know not everyone has that skill set, but as long as you're like, you know, really moving forward and generating as many things as you can on your own, like the script and art and location ideas and photographs and like mood boards and stuff, like it shows people that this train is going, whether you're gonna come aboard or not. And I think that inspires people to come along on the journey with you.
And do you feel like, it always amazes me actually, because I act as well, and it always amazes me when I watch things and I see how much of the storytelling is done in the editing suite, because I'm like, I didn't do it like that. In that conversation. And so much of the storytelling is done in the editing suite. So Christian, I'm wondering, as a writer, as a director, as an editor on this, like, do you feel that there is one specific place that the storytelling is done, or do you think it's a collaborative effort?
I would say it's more of a collaborative effort, really just depending stylistically on your, like, you know, honestly, your shot choices and the way the film is edited. Like in this, even just in this movie, like, yeah, the beginning where it's just the sequences of them using the apps is very much like, I'm crafting the story by going through the takes of different facial expressions that I have from them just in the room by themselves going through the app. But then, you know, we have the scene at the end where Max is asking Meadow out, and it's all done in one long shot. And that was something I knew, like, from the get-go. I wanted to have that scene be like one long interrupted shot. So I didn't, you know, it had to be completely natural, no editing. And so when you go for a moment like that, you're very much relying on the actors to carry the scene, and
can I just say,
yeah.
I would have said yes to Max, because I thought charming, like, invitation to go out. I was like, say yes, Meadow.
That would have been too easy.
You don't live in LA, do you?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether I can ask this or not, but at the end I was like, I wasn't quite sure. Is she going to go home or not? Can I know? That's
exactly what I intended. You know, I wanted it to be either you perceive it as she recognizes that it's a bot and isn't going to be fooled, and it's like, all right, I see you. Or you could see it as she is also about to fall for it and go on her own little journey.
Do you know what I did? I was watching the movie. I literally rewound it about 6 times. And Geordie, I was like following your eyes, because I was like, the eyes are going to tell me which way she goes. And I like
Geordie did honestly, like, Geordie, and I've said this to you before, but like, yeah, like that's the point where the story is being carried by eye gestures, and so yeah, it's like, so it's like, yeah, just another testament to the great performances that everyone turned in. How like we're literally conveying story beats and jokes and comedic beats through like hand gestures and eye twitches.
For sure. And very, very quickly to wrap up, what next for you guys? I'm just going to go around one at a time. Geordie, what next for you?
I'm shooting a pilot at the end of this month.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that. So that's exciting. Playing another fun comedic character. So
yeah. Amazing. Good for you. May, what next for you?
Well, I'm currently working as an AD, and when I'm not doing that, I've got another short that I'm filming on the 16th. That's also comedic, making fun of acting classes in Los Angeles.
You guys are so busy.
Yeah.
Zach, what about you? What next for you?
Filming a short at the end of this month. I've got, you know, there's always random things that are just in post-production for years, so we'll see what happens with all those other things. But
sure.
Yeah, so the past things might happen, and then the future, I don't. This month I've got a short, and this with you.
And Christian, what next for you?
Honestly, I'm just wholeheartedly embracing running the Sweet Nothings Festival campaign as like my personal project right now. It's become very clear to me, actually, that this being like my first short film after film school, and the first time I'm really getting to like run a festival campaign myself, is that you really can, you know, make or break the success of a short film based on how much energy you put into the festival campaign. So I'm definitely trying to like just be as active as I can, go out to all of the networking events and stuff, doing stuff like this. Like, yeah. So I'm not done with Sweet Nothings as far as I'm concerned.
We all forget that selling it, whatever it is, and selling ourselves is, whether you like it or not, a big part of of what we do nowadays. I personally hate it, but you're right. It has to be done. So
you gotta do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm 25 seconds over, and the more
Thank you so much, Michelle. This was lovely.
I love meeting you guys. I'm so excited to see what you guys do next. And again, thank you for joining me on the Pretend Red Carpet. And thank you guys at It's a Short for making it all possible.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So much.
I'm going to see you guys.
Great seeing you all.